session. It's a pre-Diwali session, but given the fact that I am with one of my very old friends, the association goes from cricket field to gymming activities. So welcome Ramesh, welcome to the GGU campus. He's the founder and executive director of Center for Human Security Studies. He did really well with regard to establishing the center and creating awareness. And his CV talks a lot about what exactly he's doing about it. And he's located at Hyderabad, and he also created American Studies from School of International Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University. Who was it? Jawaharlal Nehru, and he's a postdoctorate in security studies from NISA Center for Strategic Studies, Israel. And he's associated with the NIA, NISA, Central Detective Training Schools, and a whole lot of issues. And this shows how prolific he has been with regard to thinking and propagating the thought that the human security will be the core foundation on which many of these international security brigades will be really formed. When you look into the time span of the international security studies as such, earlier the state was at the focus of things, thereafter you find the society becoming the focus. Now you find increasingly human discourse with regard to understanding security and how it will be really catered to in future. While we will be talking about India's national security challenges, but having the prerogative of the chair, I would like him to highlight what exactly are the future security threats that we are really looking forward for. Because we have disruptive technologies, we have drones, we have machine learning, we have digital, and all those things where the whole network will be in a way plugged on to the humans. How humans are going to cater to this? When the identity, the crisis, all kinds of threats which might germinate, which might not be ever seen or that people might not have even envisioned that this kind of security challenge will be posed to them. So without much ado, I welcome Ramesh once again, and he will be talking about mapping India's national security challenges today and tomorrow. Thank you, Ramesh. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think I can speak with this. Yeah, okay. So, thank you very much, Pankaj, my very good friend. And then I want to thank Dr. Sriram Sundar Chaulia, and then Suchi Brata Rai, and Lalit, I think somewhere, and my students. Last internships they have done. They had come to Hyderabad, Center for Human Security Studies. Actually, they had witnessed the new office setup in MCR HRD. Both Jaiti and Ryan. Ryan has contributed 2 papers. So Jaiti is given one, and Arnav Upamanyu is not around, I think. So yeah. So before I actually start off, this is the it's a national workshop on mapping India's national security challenges today and tomorrow. Had it been done in Delhi, no news. Had it been done in Hyderabad, no news. It has been done in an upcoming city called Amaravati, the new capital of Andhra Pradesh. It's called Vijayawada. My idea is to take think tanks to the rural fraternity, or let's say from the 2-tier, 3-tier cities. Think tank as an institution should play and will play and has been playing, sometimes consciously or unconsciously, sometimes with much popular fanfare, a role in nation building. So I seriously and sincerely have a vision that think tanks they have a role to play in the nation building, besides the academic universities or professional bodies like IDSA or other think tanks, funded think tanks. So I took up this challenge of establishing a think tank in a 2-tier or 3-tier city, sensing that the youth should have an opportunity to debate, discuss, and disseminate ideas related to foreign policy as well. Foreign policy should not be limited to few heads sitting in Delhi. I want to break that. So part of that vision, we started it, otherwise I would have had a career somewhere here and there. But I made it a point that it has to come from there. Okay, that is the backgrounder to the whole thing. Now, we actually, I can arguably say, or let's say, with all humility, I can say, Center for Human Security Studies is a mobile think tank. We go to the field rather than sitting in one place. I know IDSA does that and many other think tanks do that, but what we do is we go to each district wherever there is a problem. For an example, Pankaj, we have gone to Chittoor district, the famous Tirumala Tirupati, Tirupati Devasthanam, you all know, TTD. Chittoor is famous or infamous for that red sand smuggling. Millions of dollars, by exporting to China, Japan, Hong Kong, all that red sand. So we actually collaborated with Chittoor district police, intelligence, judiciary, police, and other organs of like media, civil society ko sabko bula ke we have done a program on red sanders, how to contain red sanders smuggling. Who are part of it? Is it politicians are part of it, or some kind of bureaucracy, or some kind of mafia? So we have done like that. From there we moved to Visakhapatnam. India has about 7,516 kilometers of coastline. No news, we all know that. Out of that, Andhra Pradesh has got the second longest coastline. Next to Gujarat is 974 kilometers. So we have done a program with Andhra Police by bringing coastal security group, police or marine police we call, Indian Navy, Eastern Naval Command headquarters is in Visakhapatnam. We brought the Navy, the Coast Guard and the marine police onto the board and combined with the local fishing community or the fishermen community, because they are the eyes and ears of the sea. Neither you nor me know better than, they know better than both of us, because they have been living in that area. We made them part of that. So this is called Mission 974. We brought out experts from different parts of the country, Navy, Coast Guards, and Marine Police, Customs, fishing community, all of them together. So it's about safety and security of critical infrastructure installations that are placed on the coast of Andhra Pradesh as a case study. Because out of 9 coastal states in India, Andhra has second longest, as I told you some time back. So we actually done a risk assessment like the corporate way by going into the field and interacting with CISF, interacting with other stakeholders. For an example, Sriharikota Rocket Launching Center. We had gone to Pankaj, after Mumbai 2611, we have about 15 coastal police stations have been sanctioned to Andhra Pradesh in the phase 1. In the phase 2, another 7 added. Total 21 coastal police stations have been sanctioned to Andhra Pradesh coast in the 974-kilometer stretch from Srikakulam to Nellore. Out of the 21 coastal police stations, how are they functioning? Do they have enough wherewithal? Do they have enough machinery, resources? So we have done practical research by being there and then got inputs. So this is about that. So what I mean to say is, besides the traditional national security challenges you and me know, we all know about LWE, terrorism, or drug trafficking, human trafficking, all these, the real national security challenge, as Pankaj mentioned very correctly and aptly, we have to think out of the box. Now the real national security challenges, as I see from the down south of 2 Telugu-speaking states I am talking. Here I am talking in a context. I am exactly talking about Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Out of 29 states, these 2 states, if I see from that vantage point, the kind of national security challenges are caste, communal, especially Telangana, the terrorism was on the rise, fundamentalism is on the rise. Surprisingly, in Rayalaseema districts of Andhra Pradesh, fundamentalist elements are on the rise. It was not the case before, just 10 years before. 10 years se thoda sa pendulum shift ho raha hai. Even the coastal Andhra is caught up with these fundamental elements coming and creeping in. So this is one more challenge. And one more important challenge is the kind of fluid between, the gap that is widening between haves and have-nots is also becoming a huge problem in terms of human security problem. Let me very quickly talk about the conceptual clarity about how national security is different from human security. If somebody has a coin, the heads and tails, national security operates from the state-centric model. It goes by rule of law or law. For example, if Hindu and Muslim fights, impose 144, bring law and order, peace for 2-3 days, that's all. Whereas a human security is little deeper than that. You need to dig up the facts, why these Hindu Muslims are fighting, what are the reasons. So human security is like an Ayurvedic medicine, tries to get into the root causes rather than the peripheral touch-ups or peripheral dressing. So it operates from individual and society-centric human security, whereas national security operates from the state-centric prism. So when you have these two things together, it makes sense. Like heads and tails, then only it has a value, the coin. So even the prime minister or whoever the political authority of the country, when he or she allocates money, distributes money, from a human security point of view, what I urge or what we urge human security, people who are studying human security angle, is that your allocation should be very judiciously done on the human security needs, health, education, water, environment, climate change, employment, self-esteem or human rights, all these 5 elements. Besides this, you have your traditional national security challenges like border security, army, navy, air force ko jo bhi chahiye, arms and ammunition, acquisition and all that. I know national security is beyond that, but what I'm just trying to simplify it. So human security, when human security needs are not met, it has the capacity to turn into as a national security challenge. If you can nip that challenge in the bud, I mean at the nascent stage, it doesn't have actually come out as a national security challenges tomorrow. So all the human security needs must be felt by the state or the political authority and should be taken care so that it's more of preventive policing or preventive action rather than the reaction. So this is what the human security angle we are trying to propose or propagate. That's why the name of the center is Center for Human Security Studies rather than the Center for National Security Studies. So this is the thought behind the center. So part of that we have, Pankaj, in our terrorism terminology or lexicon, we have symbolic targets and soft targets. Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam or a masjid or a mosque or or a church or an assembly or a parliament or a Reserve Bank of India, all these are symbolic places, right? When you hit that, obviously you are hitting at the larger picture. So you need to have both symbolic as well as soft targets should be protected all the time, because terrorists would obviously hit at either symbolic targets or soft targets, such as amusement parks or public places or cinema halls, shopping malls and all that. So we have done one more field work with Tirumala Tirupati Devasthanam. We have done a risk assessment of the temple premises with the local police, Jayalakshmi, Superintendent of Police, and other important DIG level officers on violent non-state actors, in other words, terrorist groups. What are the what is their modus operandi? How powerful are they? Where are they getting money from? How have they been motivated? All that with experts like K.C. Reddy, former 1974 batch IPS officer, who served in the United Nations as a chief security advisor for 14 long years. Very few IPS could reach that level. After reaching to the United Nations, generally 1-2 साल सर्व करते हैं. ये 14 साल सर्व करके आए as a chief security advisor in the all important global flashpoints. So we have men of that kind of caliber and stature to participate, and we got Dr. Christine Fair from Georgetown University. Christine Fair, as you know, she worked a lot on LET and all that. So we got her also on board. So we bring foreign collaborations as well as local talent or local officers who have done exemplary work for the country, and do risk assessment by involving youngsters like these guys. So we make it a point that youth also should get into that. I mean, I quote Ajit Kumar Doval sir here. I respect him a lot, and he was the one who actually asked us to start a think tank in southern part of India. He was a Kerala cadre IPS officer, and then went on to, you all know his story, to DAB and now the NSA. So he said, you need to have somebody watching there. A think tank only can watch. A think tank has that penetrating power to get into the different layers of the society. So he actually asked us to position there. So what I'm trying to say is we have these kind of collaborations by involving the youth of the country and by bringing the senior most officers who got retired and who want to give it back to the society. And then we wanted to get the media and we want to get the local forces together to have a Akhanda Bharat or a national security strategy. This is the way that we operate in Hyderabad. These are the essays written by our interns on contemporary international relations. This is the last one. Yeah, this is about the red sanders, anti-red sanders. So the present book that I'm going to talk about, I would ask my friend Pankaj to unveil it. We did not make it as a commercial element because it was discussed in the closed door meetings. We did not give it to any random house or any, it is only in a selected audience we thought we should distribute the book. Now, Pankaj, we met Kiran Bedi madam, Lieutenant Governor, Pondicherry, country's first women IPS and all that. She really appreciated this work. And she said these books should be kept in all the 29 police academies of the country. Already we placed it in Pondicherry, Andhra and Telangana, so we have to reach. So what I'm trying to say is we are not actually living with only seminars and discussions. We are actually making a point to reach to the end user so that it is logical and meaningful, productive and purposeful. Otherwise, it's a mere wastage of time and money, as you all know. So I would request my friend Suchi and Lalit sir also, if he's around, to join. Pankaj, if you can unveil it. Please, yeah. Yeah. Come, Suchi. Yeah. Hold it, Suchi. Yeah. So this is the. Yeah. Thank you. So this book is about the mapping India's national security challenges. So we have people, former Union Home Secretary Padmanabhaya sir. He's the one who has written given the foreword. And we have the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Gautam Sawang, who served in the United Nations. Now he is the Director General, Andhra Pradesh Police. And we have Ajay Mishra IAS, all these people. Kode Durga Prasad. He was the former CRPF Director General. Just now he retired. So now he is the advisor to the CM of Andhra Pradesh. So all of them, they have, given their messages. Dwarka Trimal Rao sir, current CP of Vijayawada. Let me just touch upon few issues what we have discussed in the book so that you can. We talked about international security as some time back you were mentioning. We honestly and sincerely feel, you also would agree with me, every local issue has ramifications internationally, every international issue has ramifications or implications for local issue. If a police constable or a station house officer, SHO, can relate himself or herself to the global happenings, then he would feel that his job is not menial. He would have more self-esteem that whatever he is doing in the local Thana will have the larger global implications. So we as a think tank are trying to instill that self-esteem and confidence, not that they don't have, but we are trying to put it to the next level, take it to the next level, saying that, अरे भाई आप जो भी काम कर रहे हैं, जो फलाना जिला में, फलाना टाउन में, ये it's not a substandard work. It is definitely contributing to the national security overall. We are trying to bring that kind of self-esteem into them so that they would actually, because we are living in a global world where the world is flat like this, in a matter of seconds. Sometime back even Pankaj mentioned the cyber, the beauty and the beast is the internet. The beauty and the beast. So how, since we are living in this information age, so a local SHO or a local police officer should be able to see his work into the national security realm. So that's why we touched upon international security, issues ranging from Middle East, the Syrian conundrum to Israel-Palestine to the flashpoints in Middle East, to the flashpoints in Northeast Asia to Southeast Asia. I mean, you all agree, the North Korea, South Korea thing. and US presidential, Trump's victory, how does it have, how is it playing on Indo-US relations, to South Asia in general and India in particular. Next, we touched upon the terrorism issue in J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, existence of various violent non-state actors from that part of the country, and how to contain these radical elements, especially the rise of ISIS flags being waved in Kashmir, ISIS flags being waved in other parts of the country. How should one take that? Should we just rubbish it off as one of those offbeat, or does it really have some content and meaning and meat in it? So we need to have that reading between the lines. So all that, and then human trafficking, because you all know, I'll tell you one fact. Can you just guess, human trafficking का number 1 city in India कौन सी हो सकता है? Human trafficking का, just wild guess. Is it, generally we hear from the bachpan say, oh, that red light districts of Sonaganj in West Bengal, right? No, it's not. It's Vijayawada. It's Vijayawada. Now number 1 human trafficking place is Vijayawada. So, this is our research finding. So, we have things like that coming up in this human trafficking issue. And then, yeah. Human trafficking ke baad we talked about other issues like the menace of human trafficking and its rise and impact on the national security of India. So it is about how you connect the problem to the national security challenge, how you connect. You should have a framework. Without framework, you are lost, right? So you should have a framework to analyze, to understand, and to then interpret. So within that framework, the different ways to tackle this menace. And then we had come to cyber security. All the vital strategic installations of the country are placed in a beast or a ghost or an angel or a beauty, whatever you name it, subjective, in internet, in cyberspace. Is it strategically, does it make sense to keep all the apples in one basket? How to protect? What should be done? Where are we? How effective is our SCADA security? How effective is our, Gulshan sir ka jo set-in, computer emergency response team or whatever you name. So all that we have discussed, cyber espionage or cyber defense, public-private initiatives and research development to contain cyber attacks. So internet has become both a boon as well as a bane. So rise of cyber crimes, all this we have discussed. Most importantly, here, the love jihad we talked about. We talked about how rural areas are being targeted by these violent non-state actors, how they are using internet as a tool or a platform to recruit, mobilize, get funds, and to instigate different sections of the society. So that's what we also have discussed. Next, we discussed about our very old LWE problem, left-wing extremism problem. 1 step forward, 2 steps backward. Generally, LWE के बारे में Home Minister बोलता है, we are successful, we are अच्छा content किया है, all that. But again, somewhere today also, 5 people lost their lives in big encounter. Few days back in Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam district, 1 sitting MLA and 1 ex-MLA shot. So we are not immune still. So what does it mean? The policy of winning the hearts and minds of the people, that is a strategy, right, used by the forces. So has it gone? Is it not relevant now? If so, how to tackle this problem? Is it only the human security problem or human rights problem? The human development index problem? To say the indicators of education, health, water, climate. Does it lead to Naxalism? Or is it the ideology, the way that terrorism is also being, the narrative behind terrorism is that poverty is no longer the issue. Unemployment is no longer the issue. It is about the contest of ideologies. The ideological supremacy that they are claiming is the most important motivating factor rather than your poverty or your unemployment or your self-esteem is being attacked or you are being alienated. So those old theories have gone. So we need to rechange the narrative and think afresh. That's what we have done. And we also touched upon radicalization, de-radicalization, social media and its impact on public, all that, maritime and coastal security. So both very important aspects of overall. You all know that first 12 nautical miles or 25 kilometers, Coast Guard will have to take care, if I am right. Yes, Pankaj. इसके बाद आपका, I'm sorry, the first layer is your coastal police or marine police. The second layer is your Coast Guard till 200 nautical miles. 200 nautical miles and up above, Navy will come into picture. So all these three coordinated, plus the local intelligence of state intelligence and central intelligence, I mean intelligence bureau, and then your customs, all together and fishing community, fisherman community. ये सबको मिला के आप जो भी करना है. So इसमें कहीं कहीं gaps है. वो कहाँ gaps कहाँ है? कहाँ like where are the loopholes? We have done that. Andhra Pradesh has a case study. Out of 9 coastal states, Andhra has a case study. We have done and submitted a confidential report to the DGP. So drug trafficking का बारे में, obviously I told, energy security. So we have discussed about these nine important national security challenges. इसके अलावा, besides this and beyond this, we also talked about how human security needs, human needs or human security issues like food, health, education, water and climate, how are these going to play upon the national security framework. So on one hand, these two, national security angle and human security angle put together, you need to have the overall national security strategy. So this is the exercise that we have done, Pankaj. So, and then with all important big people participating, again, I'm sorry, big is a very subjective word, all senior people, who have given their 30 years of life to the national security. So they participated from Jammu Kashmir से लेके Kerala तक किसी को कहीं को नहीं छोड़ा है. Whoever we could get the best brains, we got it. The two coming to Vijayawada, they are surprised. अरे भाई विजयवाड़ा का flight है क्या? अरे भाई विजयवाड़ा flight है भाई, don't worry. We see, we felt not to demean anybody or not to denounce anybody. We felt this strategic thinking should develop as a culture. This country needs that strategic culture deficiency है. उसको थोड़ा हम आगे बढ़े, उसको थोड़ा सा हम मदद दे दे, उसको थोड़ा सा हम बोले, अरे भाई आप भी बहुत ज़रूरी है इसमें, आप भी शामिल हैं. Unless and until you make somebody as party and partner, they will be lost out and slowly they will alienation शुरू हो जाएगा, slowly national security problem बनेगा, be it the strategic community or whoever. So this is a conscious effort, Pankaj. So I think I'll stop here because you all are very well learned audience, I know. So कितना कम बात करें उतना अच्छा है मेरे लिए. So we'll have interaction in the Q&A if you have any questions real. Thank you, Pankaj.
Thank you, Ramesh. I will now ask from the audience if they have any questions. Otherwise, the chair will take the prerogative to give a set of 3 questions to the speaker. Yeah, Srimad. He's my PhD student.
Oh, from Sri Lanka, right?
Yeah, Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
Well, sir, it was an excellent presentation and very insightful.
Thank you.
And I'm happy that you have a think tank in the southern part of India.
Yeah.
Well, coming back to the coastal area, you said beyond 25 nautical miles.
12 nautical
12 nautical miles,
12 nautical
which is
miles,
25 kilometers roughly.
Indian Navy intercepts the.
No. The marine police. The marine police has the jurisdiction. इसके बाद, yeah.
Well, as you know, the maritime boundary.
Yeah, Sri Lanka.
It's near Kachati and all. And we are coming from Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
We know this issue, right?
Yes.
Fishermen are crossing those paths. I doubt why the Indian Navy and the Coast Guards, they don't have that much of intelligence. I mean, we have a very good understanding between the two countries. We are working with national security, maritime security. We have an agreement with India, Sri Lanka, and Maldives, a maritime agreement to secure the ease. But still, this particular incident is not curtailed, or I mean, it is causing a diplomatic
Right.
tension.
On and off, yes.
So, can you
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
some light on this matter?
I know, it's a very relevant question. Can I answer or set of questions?
I just want to
Set of questions, yeah.
More questions if there is any.
Yeah, hi.
Very commendable what CHSS is doing and by involving the youth and bringing out practical risk assessments. My question is that can think tanks play a more dynamic role in terms of, let's say, my assessment is that security agencies are facing a lot of problems in terms of social media. Social media has come up in such a big way to assess the flood of information. Can think tanks form like an open source intelligence center where we can link different universities and involve the youth so we can preventively.
Yeah. Very meaningful. I'll get back to you. Answer that. Yeah.
No further questions?
Hi.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would like to know, as far as the work of the organization is concerned, as you mentioned that the local is no longer local, it is the international as well as
Yeah.
the international affects the local. And what is the role of areas like China's relationships, which have been quite influential in Southeast Asia as well as South Asia, as we know, in the transnational topics that your organization deals with? What is the scholarship or, let's say, think tank agenda setting?
Cool.
That how is this important in the work of your organization and in general in India?
Thank you. That's all? Yeah. I think I will start with you, guys. What's your name? Gopi. What we have done is, Gopi, that's a very good suggestion you made. That's what actually we lack. If we have that network, if a terrorist or terrorists, if they have such a motivation to destroy or to destabilize, we should have double the motivation. People with like-mindedness should come together. Networking is the most important. Connecting the dots is the best counter-intelligence or counter-strategic position. If you cannot connect the dots, you won't get actionable intelligence. Unless and until you have actionable intelligence, rain is somewhere pouring down. It doesn't make any sense. You need to have that actionable intelligence. Rain is pouring or it's raining heavily in that particular area, then you have counter strategy. So, this network of universities is done by our START. I had been to START. Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism is a United States Department of Homeland Security funded initiative in University of Maryland College Park. They have set up a consortium of universities in the whole of the United States, headquartered in University of Maryland, by name called START, S-T-A-R-T, START, Study of Terrorism and Responses to Terrorism. This is what exactly your question, I'm giving the case study. They have a network of universities. For an example, Pacific means the west coast of United States. उधर से 2-3 यूनिवर्सिटीज़ को roped in, ईस्ट कोस्ट को रोप किया था, मिडवेस्ट को रोप किया था, and then they got the whole 10 to 15 universities together, and they actually distributed the work. Acha, you take care of the challenges that are coming from the Pacific and give us the information. You take care of the East Coast. You take care of the Midwest. We'll take care of the metros, the so-called metros like New York, or the other important cities like Los Angeles and all that. So they have this particular wonderful, they're doing very well. I had been there. We signed an MOU with START. We are a 5-year-old organization. With all humility, I admit to you, we signed an MOU with START. You know what START is doing? I'm coming to your question. START has a robust program working on the blue navies of this particular Indian Ocean. Entrapment, enlargement, and encirclement of China is being studied thoroughly by this START. Sitting in University of Maryland College Park, which is next to Washington, D.C., they are studying how many Chinese vessels are going in the Indian Ocean which are close to Sri Lanka and which are close to our vicinity, or which are close to the Cook Islands, or which are close to the Andaman Nicobar. All that. What I'm trying to say is they have that vision, that networking, that funding, that kind of strategizing, if you can use that word, to actually take care of the national security challenges, not only for the United States of America, global security challenges. So that kind of model we should evolve. I think it is the high time. The University Grants Commission, I think, is it renamed? What is, I don't know the current name. So they also should have this thought process. Our HRD minister should have a fresh thinking where think tanks should be given funding think tank should be given as a state policy. It should be spread around the country, not only in the capital of India. Unless and until you have the decentralization, you don't know what's happening in Kerala. You don't know. See, getting intelligence from your men in uniform is different. You will fail again. You tell me, why did 9/11 happen? They have all CIA, they have FBI and all that. The human intelligence part, they did not work. They worked on all other parts. Technical intelligence without human intelligence is waste. So you need to have that consortium of universities where that national security vision, strategy and distribution of work. So the Chinese thing, what you are trying to understand, now Chennai has a center called Chennai Center for China Studies.
Center for China
Studies, CC. And even regional centers like Chennai, Bangalore and Hyderabad, they're also, now I think slowly, Pankaj, what I can see from our GNU days to now, slowly foreign policies is being popularized now. It is not only MEA of South Bloc. So it is, slowly, the petrol issue or a diesel issue or the gas issue will have obviously foreign policy implications, right? So a common man's need is definitely being factored into, tailored into the overall national security. Within national security, the foreign affairs decision. So that kind of linking up, that kind of consciousness, the strategic culture, strategic thinking is the need of the hour to the country. That's why I think slightly Chinese are ahead of us. It's not only about men mission, it's all about attitude. It's all about where do you want to be, how do you want to be, when do you want to be. If a person or a state or a society is clear about all these three questions, they will have, So that's what, I appreciate that question. We are trying to do that, brother. We are even trying to go to rural parts, Pankaj. जो तेलुगु मीडियम से पढ़ के आता है, उसको भी हम सिखा रहे भाई, तेलुगु मीडियम का कोई प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं. आप हिंदी में सोच लीजिए, आप तेलुगु में सोच लीजिए, आप कन्नड़ का सोच लीजिए. It doesn't matter as long as your soch is correct. Language is not a barrier. You think about vernacular press, vernacular medium students should have that confidence, and we are instilling that in them, saying that, you see, national security में आप भी एक ये हैं करके, और foreign policy में ये है करके. So this is what we have been doing, sir. So coming back to your last question, we cannot discuss in India Pakistan without Kashmir. We cannot discuss this particular fishing problem or the what do you call that, international waters or the trespassing of fishermen into this area, that area. I think somewhere down the line, may I know your, I didn't get your name, sorry.
My name is Srimal Fernando.
Oh, Fernando. If I can use that. Fernando, I think, somewhere politicians, the political things are flaring up, and also there is definitely a good understanding between Indian Navy and Sri Lankan Navy. And we have been, see, we can choose our friends, but we cannot choose our neighbors. So we have been managing pretty well. But on and off, yes, it's happening. It's more than technical issues. We know where is our line. They also know. Sri Lankans do also, they do recognize their line. But what happens is, I spoke to fishing community. I'll tell you, the most bravest men, if you ever meet, is the fishing community. I'll tell you why. They don't know whether they will come back once they get to the sea. When do they get up in the morning? 3 o'clock, they get up in the morning with no safety guard or no safety precautions or gear, with simple, pure, थोड़ा सा एक इसमें खाना बना के उसमें रख के, they just get into the sea. They don't know whether they will come back that night or not, that evening or not. That kind of thing, they don't have the technology to depend upon because they lost. You never know how sea behaves. So some are accidentally done. It's not consciously done.
But so
They are trespassing.
is backed by the southern Indian politicians.
Yes.
It is becoming
That's what I'm saying. This question is also center-state relations. How states do play their politics upon the foreign policy and national security, how their petty egoistic issues or their vote bank issues become a national security threat, because West Bengal में, the NRC, Assam ka, National Register of Citizens, how it is playing upon the overall national security or the foreign affairs issue between India and Sri Lanka, how Tamil politics are playing on to the similar issues. So these things should be managed, and we have been managing. I do agree.
The northern Tamils,
yeah.
the northern province Tamils, they are saying this is their resources.
Yes, I understand. I understand.
It's not about Sinhalese resources. In that.
Absolutely. Definitely, it is a cause for concern. It is irritant. Irritant. We need to manage that. We have been successfully managing, but we need to put a full stop to that. More robust, mechanisms. So, like that, we have had. Now, the problem is the gap between. Last thing I would just finish, Pankaj, if you permit me 1 minute, about the cyber security issues. Now, what's happening is we are keeping everything here, right? It is the main servers of this, internet is not being in India. It is in the United States, right? So every program you use, or every app you use, or every function that you do on internet, Facebook se leke, Twitter se leke, Google chat room se leke, the entire social media, or let's say everything is in the web. It is being controlled by United States of America. So it is a NeoColonialism that is happening. Physically, they are not present here, but they still are. They are actually dictating your life and your lifestyle. So it is a new form of colonialism where all the important plugs or all the important switches are in the United States of America. We need to have an alternative model for the internet. We should not be the only consumers or end users of their programming. We should also have a much higher program where they should buy from India. That's where the real make in India happens. Not only the Silicon Valley things, we are actually, cyber coolies mat bano. We have become cyber coolies of late. So we need to come out of that cyber coolies and become our own independent. They need to buy our programs. So programming should be done by our best brains. They need to buy. Why not we have an equal and opposite partner like Facebook or Google chat room, or why not we create? We have actually a nation of consumers. We have only using it. So that's the challenge that we have to face, and we have to tackle at some level. So this is what, and last but not least, we are also making the private security part of the overall national security. You know how much is the private security income in India now? Private security means the group 4 security guards guarding your university, your cafeteria, your shopping mall, 50 lakh workforce, 10,000 crores, $1 billion is the overall annual turnover of the private security firms in India. More than the men in uniform. And in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, 4 lakh security guards are there. Recently, we signed an MOU with Association of Private Security Agencies in Andhra, Telangana. We actually are making them part and parcel of the national security building, architecture, building. Joe, as a security guard, whatever job you are doing is actually helping the national security cause. So you are being safeguarded by them, so low self-esteem hai. And the PASARA Act, there is something called Private Security Agencies Act, Parliament of India has passed, enacted in 2005, that should be implemented by the respective state governments. Some state governments are implementing it, some state governments are not implementing it. It means minimum wage is not being managed. So a private security guard is being robbed by the security agency head. उसको 15,000 लेते हैं employer से, but the moment that he transfers the money, he will only get 9,000. So the security agency head eats up all the money. So when you pay peanuts, you get monkeys, right? When you pay good stuff, you get good things. So private security also should be made part and parcel. They also should make them feel that whatever they are doing is not inferior. You are also as good as a police officer. Like that, we are also this is the penetration that we are doing. We are trying to identify the unsung heroes by identifying the unsung heroes of the national security, we are actually elevating them to a different level so that we make them feel part and parcel of the national security architecture. By instilling confidence in them, we are bringing them onto the board. So there is no alienation, there is no leftovers. Terrorism and Naxalism taught us two things. The moment alienation and leftovers are there, it is going to cause you a greater problem. So don't alienate people. Try to build bridges by something or the other, by emotion, by love, by technology, by this, by that, whatever. Or ideology is a great binding factor. So this is the way that we are actually playing out.
Any further questions? Okay. I will pose two questions. I never leave you with a easy walk. Okay. The first issue is that when you talk about media, particularly the newspaper and all those things, English media is consumed by barely 3 to 5% of the Indian public. What exactly are the efforts you are doing to sensitize vernacular media people, particularly the journalists? Because they need to sense what exactly is human security and how it really manifests itself into the larger national security. First question. Second question is that when you talk about maritime security, the different agencies into it, the biggest problem that I have been into certain policy institutions is coordination.
Yes.
You know, this tussle to really report as early to his boss rather than to a coordination center is making very late, and in fact much of the time is lost with regard to coordination itself.
Yes.
What exactly are the institutional work or the projects that you intend to do or have done in the past?
Yes.
That's it.
Thank you, Pankaj. Two good questions. I'll start with the last question first. Pankaj, in 2014, November, this month, we have collaborated with the National Police Academy. I myself had gone, that is the second year of the establishment of our Center for Human Security Studies, our think tank. NPA is a 50-year-old national premier police training institute of IPS officers, we all know. They don't generally give entry point. Shri Aruna Bahuguna, a lady police officer, IPS officer, was heading the institution then. Thanks to Dr. B. Prasad Rao, then DGP, then Home Secretary of Andhra Pradesh. He's an academic also. So we requested him, he took us to NPA. We have collaborated with NPA and done a workshop on national coastal security management. This is what exactly we have done. The second question you asked about, how to achieve that coordination is one, and how to suppress, S-U-P-P-R-E-S, right? Suppress the desire of immediately getting a medal by telling it to the higher official, means the information is going vertical, not horizontal. If the information is not going horizontal, it means, what does it mean? It means you are not actually taking other stakeholders into confidence. You are only looking up, not this way or that way. Then it is lost. The game is lost. Probably you won the battle, but you lost the war. This is what exactly, precisely, we made a point in the 9 coastal states. Additional Director General of Police, Navy, Coast Guard, Customs, Intelligence Bureau, Joint Director Ayata, and then other important and only one think tank. I am not claiming any credit that we have done a great thing, but what I am trying to say is at least we attempted that. And Aruna Bahuguna madam told in the conference, so far we have not even worked with IDSA, a premier think tank, by all its nature and all that. So at least a local think tank did approach with us. And me as the director of the IPS Police Academy, not aware, I'm quoting, that not that I don't know, but it thoda sa overlook ho gaya, that the first 25 kilometers should be managed by the police. See, this level of apathy or overlooking or ignorance, I don't know what to use the word, this is what happening. So all these coordination problems and the vertical reporting but not the horizontal reporting, and out of 9 coastal states, Pankaj, Only Tamil Nadu, Gujarat, Maharashtra are doing good. The rest 6 are not up to the mark. And the real problem is they don't even have coastal police stations. They are being rented, and all the people with a lot of tummy, wore out people, worn out people, or retirement age, those who cannot swim are in the coastal police. Those those who cannot know how to ride the jetty. And the most funny part is, and very serious also, they don't even have a jetty. Jetty is like a platform where a boat is stationed in a sea. If you don't have jetties, if you keep the boat there, natural disaster में क्या हो जाएगा वो, it will be washed away. Jetties नहीं, boats है तो diesel नहीं, diesel है तो proper fitment नहीं, physical and then mental abilities. So all these are gaps. And then the last important is the local fishing community is not being made part of that. Only Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Andhra is catching up. So this is the situation, the part. And then one more, the vernacular press. That's a good question you asked. Again, Pankaj, don't think that I'm self-promoting, but I need to tell you the kind of challenges that one meets to start a think tank in a place like Hyderabad, which is known for IT, which is known for real estate, which is known for film industry, which has loads of tons of money. We are being looked at like a fool. What is he talking? Has he gone mad or insane? कौन सी think tank की बात कर रही है? अपना जो कमाओ ना, अपना जो बीवी बच्चा, this is the thinking. A middle class thinking is that think tanks are waste. But I told them in the 5 years' time that think tanks now are the most important lethal force, like the IPEC, America-Israel Public Affairs Committee, a pro-Israeli Jewish organization, Jewish lobby group registered in the United States, like NRI, National Rifles Association, NRA, National Rifles Association. They're all important, pretty lobby important groups. How they have been managing, cruising through, and minting millions of dollars. A non-profit is no longer a non-profit; it is most profitable business. Don't get me wrong, and we have proved it. Now, within the 5 years of our think tank's lifespan, 5 years of think tank's lifespan, now we are teaching our think tank. I can admit before the camera, 316 All India civil servants are being trained in Marichanna Reddy Institute in Telangana, next to NPA and Mussoorie. Out of that 316, 109 IPS officers are being trained. Center for Human Security Studies has become an official knowledge partner to MCR HRD to impart training to the All India civil servants. So, a think tank of a 5-year-old, if it can be part and parcel of the overall, manufacturing intellectuals of that nature. So this is the power of a think tank. Not everything can be bought. Money is one, and you also have the social capital, and the political capital, the intellectual capital. The wealth is only one part. The other capitals are important. So this is what I need to tell, because this is a wonderful career option for youngsters also. Pankaj would know, and Suchi, all of you must be knowing, important people who have traveled abroad. The endowments that they have, Carnegie Endowment or Brookings, the budget of that is equal to your state budget. Maybe Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand, I don't know. So this is the situation. The vernacular praise I lost is that I have given about 200 plus Telugu interviews on foreign policy and security. Hyderabad is the second capital of India. All the important defense establishments are there in Hyderabad. Pharma industry, pharma hub, Hyderabad, real estate hub, film industry. Next to Bollywood is Telugu film industry, minting millions. One Bahubali has gone a massive success, right? So what I'm trying to say is, all these are important. That's why Hyderabad has become the second capital. That's why there is a need to have that foreign policy, national security orientation. Now we have created in Telugu TV channels a discussion forum like Rajya Sabha TV, Lok Sabha TV, or your NDTV. Every Sunday or every Monday, we take one day to only to discuss national security issues and foreign policy issues. Now we have a new news channel, English news channel, India Ahead news channel, which has come up in Hyderabad. I'm writing a script where I would invite all the top-notch people who have served in the Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, Intelligence, settled in Hyderabad to the discussion forum and unveil it to the public what national security means and how it is important, what foreign policy, how foreign policy is important. So this is the consciousness we are trying to spread. So this is the vernacular thing, and we are contributing in Telugu the columns on foreign policy, the Indo-Sri Lanka issues, Indo-Pakistan, India-China, Sino-Indian, or India-United States. Telugus are the largest diaspora in the United States in terms of IT. Next to the richest community next to the Jewish community is Telugu community. It's a research. It's not at all self-boasting or promotion. So this is what we are trying to say, that, we are trying also to say how Indians who are living in the United States, why should they know American society? Why should they know American politics? They should know American politics, American government, and American culture before being inducted there as a doctor, actor, or a IT guy. If you don't know the rules of the game, you act different, you act strange in a different country, the cultural clashes slowly, and then destroy the social fabric.